Hi folks, Nile Creek Fly Shop here. Well, I've been asked to do a very small trout intruder. Yeah, we can do intruders for trout. So the intruder represents a small creature of some sort that looks like a whole bunch of things. So I'm going to start with the Catrelli vise, Pro Tube needle, a Scandi tube, and some black UTC 6/0 thread. I'm going to put a little dubbing ball at the end of this. So I'll do a loop, dubbing loop. It's going to be a sexy little fly. Not very heavy. Some people will put super glue here. I'm not going to bother. A little loop. Make sure that's not going to twist. There we are. And I use one of the Stonfo dubbing twisters. I like this one. It's got good action. I'm using ice dub and olive green. It brushes out really quite nicely, actually. And I'll start spinning. There. I'll spin her up. There we go. Keep spinning. There we go. I don't want to spin too much. I might break the thread. No, that's pretty good right there. And this being a small trout intruder, I don't need much on there. But I do want the color. And I do want the flash. Because we know trout like flash as well as steelhead and salmon. They all like that little flash. They are all predators. How many times have we caught a 6-inch trout with a 4-inch trout in his yap? A little dubbing ball, not much. I don't want this thing to be too bulky. That's more than adequate right there. And I'm going to use a Green Flat Braid on the body above this. I'll lock it in. Much nicer. There we are. Now I'm going to brush it out with a Stonfo dubbing brush. I like it. I just want a little flare on this, not much, just a little flare. There, that's a nice little flare. Now on the body, I'm going to use a flat braid. And it's a forest green. Now, for the East Coasters, they really like forest green for a lot of things. Now, let's bring this up. A little further. There we are. Just a little bit, and that'll be 9. I'm not going to candy stripe it. There. I just want a little bit of flash in the middle of this little fly. And I'm not going to add a lot of weight to it. There will be a small cone head on the front. And that is pretty well it. Now if you wanted to, if you had a situation where you wanted to weight it, you can simply add a tungsten cone, you could put a body on, a whole lot of different things. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a couple pieces of Chartreuse Saddle Hackle, micro hackle. And I want that first, I want that hair to stick up. I'm not really worried about which way and which way the hackle goes. I just want it to stick up, give me a base. So I use 2. Almost like wings. Well, all I'm going to do is just wrap them a bit and give that little stick up. I want a little bit of a, like that. I want that to stick up because that's going to carry some marabou. Fairly stiff fibers. Yeah. Take the stems off. There we are. Pull them back a little bit and lock them down. There we are. There, nice and stiff. Now I'm going to take one longer fibered piece of Hackle saddle. Almost slapping length, and I'm going to do the same to it, only a small wrap. Whoop. Soft vein. Let's do that again. I don't want to put too much material on this because it's not the idea. Son of a bitch, it did it again. Well, let's try that for the third time. What they say about 3 times. 3 times and you're out. Okay, let's get rid of that. I think what I'm doing is I'm pulling that vein out. There we are, just a little longer fiber. You see that? Just a little bit, not much. Now I can really pack that in when I lock it in with my thread. Now let's cup that back and let's lock that right nice and tight. There we are. There, perfect, perfect, perfect. Now the marabou I've chosen is a Sculpin Olive, and I really like it. The theme of this is natural colors. So I've got a Sculpin Olive on here. I could strip one side. In fact, I'm going to strip my right side. There we are. Yeah. I'm going to use some jungle cock after for the eyes. Now, when you tie in from the stem, you've got to lock the stem in more than one place, or else it'll fold over on you. So I've locked it in about 1/8 of an inch. There. Oh yeah, that's pretty nice. There you are. And I don't want it to be too thick because this is a Trout Intruder. I want it to be relatively sparse, like it is. Perfect. I'm going to add something to this fly that a lot of you may not be aware of. There's a thing called a flag. And what a flag is, oh, that's nice. That's a nice little intruder. What the flag is a stripped down hackle, saddle hackle, like so. I want this to look like crawlers. Look at 4. So I'm going to quarter them. Now there's a natural curve to them, so I try to make them so that I try to lay them in so that they lay down on the natural curve of the fly. Sometimes that's very difficult, like that one was. So my natural way to turn, I'm going to pull over that stem. So I will try real hard to not pull it too much. 1, 2, 3. In the water, this thing is absolutely alive because those bumps really do hold those wings out, those little flaggies. There, beautiful. And I am going to add just a couple of strands of Krystal Flash, just a couple, not many. But no amherst on, no, nothing much else. There's that. Just a couple. We can cut them to length after. I don't want them to be too long, so I will cut them so that they are not too long. I don't want them to go past the legs for sure. See, one there is. Like it's all about attention, that's all. It's just simple attention. I'll lock that again. I gotta be careful how much thread I put on here. When you find that you're getting too much thread on, you could, next time you tie your fly, use some nano silk, which is a very, 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 very strong and very fine tying thread. I really like it. There we are. Two nice little jungle cockeyes. Just small ones. I'm not even going to take the little burrs off it. There's one. I will put a little super glue on. I will use a little bit of super glue. My super glue is going to actually marry. Let's see, I need that long piece here. There we go. There. The super glue is going to marry all the material. Jungle cock just adds a whole new dimension to flies. Oh yes. I'm using Gulf Minuteman super glue. There we are. Just a couple of drops. That's all. Not much. Whoop. There. And a little whip finish. Stick it on the cone. And we'll be done. There. Oh yeah. That is a pretty sexy little trout intruder. Folks. I have better scissors. I'm just too damn lazy to pick them up. Here, I have a small Stonfo silver cone. Wow, look at that. Now that is nice. That is really, really cool. And I got the right length. I got about less than 1/8 of an inch left over on the front. You can see how that tube is sticking out. I'm going to melt it. And it's going to curl naturally. There we are. And that holds the cone on. So all you got to do is run your tippet or leader through there and tie on your hook. And your best type of hook that I like is actually one of the Arex trailer hooks. Pretty nice. Something like that. And I don't even put a junction. I don't even put the junction tube in there. I put my line through and create a little loop, and so my hook just comes back here somewhere. It's perfect.